Okay, one of the things I want to touch on before we wrap up today's program and go to voicemail and then ultimately the bonus show is where is our audience generally on sort of the consequences that President Trump may or may not ever face for the different things that he has allegedly done? We did a poll yesterday on our YouTube community tab where we asked which is most likely to take down Trump, if any. More than 10,000 of you voted. We are putting the results up, which I will tell you in a moment. This is not a scientific poll, normal disclaimers. This is indicative merely of the opinion of the people in our audience who chose to participate. 49% of our audience believes that there will be no consequences at all for Donald Trump, period. The other 51% of the audience is split among four options. 25% believe that the new real estate tax fraud investigation is ultimately what is going to take down Donald Trump. 17% believe that it's the Trump-Russia investigation that will lead to real consequences for Trump. 7% believe that it is the cognitive decline or being found unfit to serve, maybe via the 25th Amendment, as the mechanism for his removal that will lead to consequences. And not hugely surprisingly, only 2% of our audience believes that the illegal mistress hush money payments will lead to his downfall, which makes sense because I don't really see how those could. This is probably correct. That's the reality. It is probably correct to say what a plurality of our audience says, which is that there aren't going to be consequences for Donald Trump, at least not serious ones, when it comes to any of the stuff that he's been involved in. And this is likely for a combination of reasons. Number one, that the consensus from the legal community does seem to be that there is no indicting a sitting president. Number two, that impeaching Trump in advance of an indictment is going to be a massive uphill battle. Number three, that there is going to be a massive movement to protect Trump that includes the Supreme Court. And as we talked about yesterday, the appointment of Brett Kavanaugh to the court is absolutely part of that. So it's probably correct that the most likely outcome is there are no consequences for Donald Trump for all of the different stuff that he and his family have been involved in. But that's not a reason to stop pushing when we see bad things done. We have supposedly a free press. We have the ability to go out and protest, although not so much the availability, as I've spoken about people who have to work. They've got to work for a living. Wages have been stagnant. You're not necessarily able to start taking time off from work in order to protest. But anytime we see what we perceive to be wrongdoing, we should be calling for investigations. Critical media should be continuing to do investigative journalism. It all should happen and needs to continue happening. But, you know, I'm not an unrealistic person. I get that every single one of these paths of holding Trump accountable are significantly uphill battles. Let's not be discouraged because we can still vote out anybody we want to vote out. And I hope that people will do that in 4.5 weeks in the midterm elections to send an initial signal that this is not going to be tolerated. I hope people will do that. Remains to be seen. Today's show was made possible in part by Psyon Games and their new game for phone and tablet called Antidote, which is an award-winning strategy game that's all about using vaccines to defend the human body from bacteria and viruses. It's fast-paced. The graphics are amazing. The game has actually been commended by the World Health Organization because it has a mission to fight back against anti-vaccine misinformation. So the game is educational and fun to play. Download Antidote for free on your phone or tablet in the Google Play Store or the iOS App Store and have a blast using vaccines and the body's immune system to fight off deadly diseases. And don't forget to search for Psyon Games on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, I've put the links under the video.